U.S. Open qualifier. How does that sound?
Incredible. Hasn't really sunk in yet, honestly. The last 2 days have been crazy. Lots of support, lots of messages, which has been incredible. It's amazing to have so much support. And yeah, I'm just super excited to get over there. Planning the travel and stuff was stressful, but that's all done now, so ready to go.
What are you most looking forward to?
Probably just the atmosphere, honestly. I think once I get there, the prestige and everything might set in and I'll realize that I'm playing in a major, but I think just the crowds, the vibe, everything, all the players I'll see. Gonna try and treat it like a regular event, which will be tough, but you know, I'll work through it. But I think once I get into the groove of prepping and practice and getting ready for the course and stuff, everything will kind of calm down in my head.
You earned this opportunity, obviously, by finishing in the top 3 at the sectional qualifier. Take us through those 36 holes.
Long day, but got off to a hot start, 3 birdies in a row. Had my good buddy Josh caddying for me, who's the assistant coach here. And we just had a good vibe going the whole day. Birdies felt pretty inevitable, which was a nice feeling. I felt good physically, mentally. It got a bit draining towards, especially that second round when I made a couple bad errors. But yeah, it was a long grind. Everyone was going through it. I was just thrilled to get it done in the end. There was a stage there where I think a lot of people thought I'd kind of blown it, including myself, but mental mistakes starting on my 8th hole, second round. I had a terrible tee shot. My swing thought, I was looking at my shadow. It was just terrible. And then I hit a similar tee shot up number 1, got away with it. And then number 2, my 11th hole, overcorrected in the hazard. Had to take a drop, like 250 to the hole, over more water. Got it on the front edge and 2-putt. That was a great bogey. And then the next one was just terrible swing and a double. And I said to Josh, like, let's try not to throw this away. And asked him how many I needed coming in. He didn't tell me. He said, take them one at a time, which I think was the perfect thing to say at that time. Knew I had really gettable holes coming in, 2 par 5s and a short par 4. Took advantage of those. Hadn't looked at my phone all day, had no idea where I was in the field, what was going to make it, what wasn't going to make it. So made a testy little 4-footer on the last for par. And Josh told me it was probably good enough. So yeah, it was a long day, but I was so happy at the end.
When did you know that you had it for sure?
After I signed my scorecard, I think, and he told me. Josh gave me a big hug afterwards, said I did it, but nothing's official till it's official. So after I'd signed my card, told him my score, told me it was good, then looked at my phone for the first time, had texts from people, tears started flowing, it was a lot. The golf kind of came from my mum's side of the family predominantly. My dad played too, but my mum was a really good amateur golfer, played a lot of international stuff for Wales. Her dad was really into it. And I got into it at a young age, seriously around like 10 or 11. Just played a lot, like kind of every day after school. And then I didn't do anything crazy as a junior. Had some decent finishes. But Joe Inman, who was the coach at the time, he saw me at the British Boys, which is a big junior tournament. And I got through to the match play and I lost the first round of match play on a playoff hole. And he came straight over, started, pitching Georgia State to me. And we didn't have much money, so full scholarship was a big thing. And I'm super happy I made the decision to come here to Georgia State because I had the best time.
You mentioned Coach Joe Inman. He's obviously still involved in your career. How has he helped shape your career and prepare you?
He obviously had an incredible career himself. I pick his brain whenever I can, and he's not afraid to tell me what he thinks, as a lot of people can attest to. He was one of the first he was actually the first person I spoke to on the phone after I qualified. And he's always been that way. He's super supportive. And yeah, it means a lot to have him in my corner. And yeah, he's done it all there is to do pretty much as far as professional golf goes.
Obviously, you graduated from Georgia State in 2016, turned pro. Just kind of talk about your journey since then.
Not a very successful one, I would say. Started out slow, had no money, so it was just like I worked a little jobs trying to save up. Spent all my money on it, the odd entry fee here and there. Didn't make much. Took time off when our son was born, just because it was too much to handle with expenses and my wife finishing law school and stuff. But it's been a slow kind of rise. Everything it's been getting better every year. Had a couple conditional status things through Q School for Canadian Tour, and then I had a full year on the Canadian Tour. I earned that the year COVID came around, 2020. Tour was cancelled. They threw something together, gave me my card for the following year, and they moved it to the States. So that was a cool little 10-week, I think, tour. And then end of that year, earned my Corn Ferry Tour card. I had the whole of last year on after getting into the Open in Bahamas event. Played well there, top 20, and that secured me for the rest of the year. And that was an eye-opener. It was a lot harder than I expected, the travel stuff. The golf I knew was going to be hard. Everyone's really good. But yeah, being away that much from the family was tough. But it was kind of what I signed up for. So it was, it was a good experience to see what's coming.
Obviously, pursuing professional golf like this, it takes a lot of support. You mentioned the support of your family. You also have the support of some special friends. What would you like to share about that?
So Sam Asbury, he played golf here. I was teammates with him for a year. Got really close with him pretty quick. He committed suicide in 2020. About a week after, I didn't know this, he had asked his dad to help me out a little bit financially with professional golf. And after he had passed, or before he had passed, I told him mentally I was struggling, didn't know how much longer I could do it, felt kind of like a burden on the family a little bit. And that's when he spoke to his dad. Week after that, he had committed suicide. I found out that day. And then a few days later, I spoke to his parents with my wife, and they had agreed to sponsor me for anything golf related for like the next few years. And it was really tough to deal with at the time. Obviously, losing him was the worst. I'd rather have him back than the golf sponsorship, but it was a blessing that came out of something terrible. And I feel like I've used it for the right things, and kind of trying to spread the message of suicide prevention with the foundation we've set up as best we can. And yeah, it's a point of pride at this point to have him on my side.
Talk a little bit more about your Georgia State experience and what you remember most.
Grew up in a small little town in England, so the big city was intimidating, but I loved it, really did. Being away from home was tough, but there's so much going on those first few months, you kind of don't have a chance to think about it. And kind of hit the ground running. Won the first 2 college events I played in, and had a really good freshman year, made a ton of friends. I was the only freshman on the team that year, so I didn't live with the golf team at the time, so I made friends with other guys and girls in other sports, so that was cool to have. Made a lot of friends quickly. Yeah, my wife played volleyball at Georgia State. I met her spring semester my freshman year. We were together ever since then. She, like I said, played volleyball. She had redshirted, so she transferred. She finished her final year of volleyball while in law school. She's now a practicing attorney. She kind of holds everything together. She's been such an incredible support for me. Sacrificed a lot with our 2 kids. Last year was insane for her. I was traveling almost 20 weeks of the year. She had the 2 kids at home, one of which wasn't sleeping through the night yet. So she's been incredible, super lucky. Not really. I mean, I'm Georgia State through and through, so I'm going to be flying the flag for Georgia State next week. Proud to be an alumni, and yeah, just ready to get going.